I'm with Itash Katiyar, who's a final year student studying mathematics at University of Cambridge in the UK. Uh, we had done this podcast earlier, but there are certain follow-up questions I had, Itash, and that is to do with the admissions interview and in general the admissions process. How does it work beyond the UCAS and the SOP? What happens once you get an invite for the interview? What does the interview stage look like? And what are they looking for?
Mhm. So I guess you can choose to do the interview, um, like either in your own country, like in India, they have an option to do it in India sometimes, or you can fly over to the UK to Cambridge to do it. The interview, I think, is probably the most important part of the whole process, um, because I guess the changes from year to year, but I had a test and an interview. So either they have two interviews or an interview and a test, and you'll be notified about what it is. I guess each interview was about an hour, I think, and there were 8 to 9 questions on it, and the questions are basically content from IBHL level, however, maybe slightly more steps of reasoning involved. And yeah, the test was similar. I think there was certain content on the test which also was, maybe I think it was testing whether you read ahead a little bit or not, but I don't think I was reading ahead a lot, just a little bit more.
Great. So the other unique thing about studying at the University of Cambridge is their supervision process, which is similar to the tutorial system at the University of Oxford. What is it like? And do you think knowing about that going in for the interview is also useful because that's what they're checking as to how you work with professors? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's a good idea to know that the interview is kind of modeled as being a supervision that you'd be expected to have once you if you go there, and they're trying to see whether you'd work well in that sort of situation and being able to talk and converse with someone like well about the work you're doing and the mathematics you're doing.
Right. So once you got there, the supervisions became kind of the normal for you. Where, how does it work? How many times do you meet your supervisor for each course? Do you have supervisors? Um, and what do you do in those sessions? Who's there with you at that time, along with the professor?
So it balls up being so there's about 2 to 3 supervisions per week, depending on how busy the week is, and you submit your well. It changes for different subjects, but for maths, it's you do your example sheet, which is this about 10 to 15 problems, which you're expected to spend about 10 hours on. You do that work and you submit it to the supervisor. And beforehand, they look at it and look at whether you've made some mistakes or whether there's certain aspects of the course you're uncomfortable with. Then, then there's each supervision has two students and one supervisor. And in the supervision, which lasts 1 hour, you go over your work and talk about aspects of the course. And then if there's and then the supervisor also like talks about their own extra content which isn't in the course and isn't examinable. It's more interesting things about maths that they wanted to share in supervision.
Great. I think the other thing which applicants are always curious to know is what is the college system and how does it really matter which college you go to within the university? For you, it would be, I want to study math at Cambridge. I don't know what this college deal is all about. As a layman, I'm sure you knew a lot more by the time you were applying. How would you describe that to some student who's not done their research about Cambridge?
Okay, so the college system has like virtually no effect on your actual academics. So the college is in charge of doing, I guess, the college organizes your supervisions, and the colleges take care of all of your pastoral needs like food, housing, and anything else in case like if there's some sort of like conflict between you and the department, the college is supposed to take your side, things like that. The great thing about the college system is that I don't know whether this is intentional or accidental, but it forces you to be in close contact with people of different courses and of different year groups. So when you're going to have dinner, you're going to be sitting in the same hall as um, linguists and philosophers and everybody else, which I guess fosters some sort of like cross cross disciplinary work.
So it's a lot more intimate compared to the larger university experience. So what is your college and what is the size of the student body in that college? And the dining hall accommodates all of them at one point? It can?
I don't think all of that.
Okay,
Yeah, almost all, I guess. But, yeah.
sure.
This so my year group is about 80 people, and my college is Corpus Christi, which is one of the smallest colleges, and it has about 300 people in total among our undergraduates. So if you
Right.
add up like postgrads and then teaching staff and everybody who's actually in the college, then it's about I guess 600 to 1,000, rough estimate. Yeah,
Sure.
but definitely, I think most people know most of the other people in our year group. It's quite intimate, but then it's not as if you're forced to interact with them because I spend a lot of my time talking with people from other colleges, really, and spending time at events at other colleges.
So for an applicant, there is no way to sort of showcase that I'm a Corpus Christi sort of student or something else. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't. As far as I know, that doesn't really matter at all. Yeah.
Okay. Great. I think this is great to sort of get a handle over where the admissions is concerned. So looking forward to sort of sending questions your way, Tash. And so thanks again.
Right. Thanks.